Hello everyone, have a nice day. This is Hernan and welcome to our lesson for today. In this video, we will talk about in-text citation, which is commonly used in researches or even quoting a particular text or particular sentence which is taken from different sources. Okay, this time, let us know first what are the differences between citation and reference. Let's begin. Okay, the first one is citation. When we talk about citation, this is according to ACU Library. It is a brief form of a full reference that you include in the body of your work. Okay, it is a brief form of a reference. And let's talk about a referencing or a reference. A reference is a consistent method of acknowledging another person's ideas which you have used in your own writing, and this is according to Murdoch University. Okay, so as we have noticed, based on the given explanations or definitions or thoughts about citation and referencing or references, they are actually related because citation is a short version of a reference. Okay, citation is a short version of a reference. Now, let's move on to the basic components of in-text citation. Okay, as you have noticed, I have here three given examples. I have here two given examples. The first example is Johnson 2022, and the second one is Johnson 2022, page 76. So there is a quiet difference between the two, right? So let us know what are the components of these citations. Number one is the surname. Yes, so in the first example, Jensen is a surname, and the second one is the year of publication. This means that in making a citation, these elements are included. These elements are the things that we should see in a particular text or in the body of text. Okay, on the second part, we have here the surname, which is Johnson. Next, the year of the publication. And the last one is the page number. So as you can see, page number is found in the second paragraph, in the second example, because this example is intended for quoting or paraphrasing. Yes, when you paraphrase something or when you quote something which is taken from a different source, you are going to include the page or the specific page number wherein the data or information is found. Okay, just take note that the difference between one P and the double P is the plural and the singular form of the noun. Okay, so the first one is single page only, so this is page 76. If you encounter double P in a particular citation of a particular work, that means pages 76 to 80. So give an example is that. So pages 76 to 80. Okay, next. We have here the author styles. Okay, in the author styles in citation or in text citation, there are three styles. So the first one looks like this, the second one looks like this, and the third one looks like this. Okay, because when we talk about citation, that means we assume that there are varied authors. Okay, so the first example talks about a single author. When there is only one author, you can use the surname and the year of publication. Next, the second example is for two authors. As you can see, we have here Jensen and Greg 2022. And please take note of the sign here. This sign is called as ampersand, which is read as and. Okay, so this and. So Jensen and Greg 2022. But in signs or symbols, this is called as ampersand. Okay, the third one is good for more than two authors or three authors, at least three authors, and at most, unlimited authors. Okay, so this is given to more authors. So what you can do with this is you are going to write only the primary author. How can you identify the primary author? So for me, you're going to select the first surname of the given authors. Okay, let's say for example, we have Johnson, we have Greg, and we have Blooms. So there are three. So the first author is Johnson. So we are going to take the first surname of Johnson, which is Johnson. So et al. Johnson et al. 2022. And this et al. Means and others. Okay, so this is read as Johnson and others 2022. Okay, so these are the different styles. Okay, so citation styles. Okay, now let's move on to the citation styles. Actually, there are varied citations in the Philippines and in the whole world, but I am only recommending two because this is the most famous, or these are the most famous citation styles that I have encountered since then. Okay, the first is the APA, and the second one is MLA. So first and foremost, let's know first what is APA stands for. So APA stands for American Psychological Association, and MLA stands for Modern Language Association. Okay, next, let's move on to this one. Okay, we need to take note that in citing a particular work in your own work, we need to know that there are two forms of in-text citations. So what are these forms? So the first form is the so-called parenthetical. So when we talk about parenthetical, so we have a context in mind or an idea in mind that parenthetical has a parenthesis. And let us see if it has a parenthesis by nature. Okay, so parenthetical citation, the general form in this citation is author and date within a parenthesis. So, right, so there is a parenthesis in parenthetical citation. Parenthetical citation is also known as an information prominent citation. It is used to emphasize the information being cited. Okay, next. The next form is the narrative. Narrative citation, here the parenthesis is not necessarily used in your work, but you must include both the author and the date of the work if you wish to cite within the body of your text. Okay, so in parenthetical, there is a presence of parenthesis, but in narrative, there is a presence of parenthesis, but most of the time, since it is narrative, parenthesis is not found. Okay, so I have here an example of a parenthetical citation using the APA or the American Psychological Association. Okay, as you can see, there is a ellipsis. There is an ellipsis in here, which means that there are ideas prior to this. So let me read this. As has been shown in the recent study, Mershashi and Bohr 2018 and discussed at length in the literature in the years past, according to Smith 2017. Okay, so here there are two ideas being presented. So a recent study by Mershahi and Bauer in 2018, and the second idea being presented is according to Smith in 2007, and this is a good example of parenthetical citation because it involves a parenthesis. Now let's move on to the second form of citation using American Psychological Association or APA. It is the so-called narrative citation. Okay, so here, okay, when you use a parenthesis, it looks like this. The first example shows a parenthesis. Kessler, 2014, found that among epidemiological samples and ellipses, that means there are succeeding idea or ideas and information which is connected to this. Next, this is actually a narrative citation without the parenthesis. In 2014, Kessler's study of epidemiology samples showed that then ellipsis. So this is the difference between narrative and parenthetical citation using APA. Okay, so when you paraphrase or quote, when you use a direct quote or paraphrase in a particular, in your work, you are going to include the page number, okay? Because as mentioned earlier, page number is used when you are going to quote a particular text or a particular idea from another source. Okay, is it clear? Now let's move on to this one. So here is a sample or this is the idea on how to write a parenthetical citation and a narrative citation. Okay, now let's move on to the next part. Okay, here we are now in the MLA format. Okay, or the Modern Language Association. So MLA in in-text citation style uses the author's last name and the page number from which the quotation or paraphrase is taken. Okay, next. If the source does not use page numbers, do not include a number in the parenthetical citation. Okay, if the source has no page numbers, that means you don't need to include a page number in your parenthetical citation. So this is a concept, this is an idea about MLA in parenthetical citation. Okay, now let's move or let's talk about parenthetical citation using MLA. MLA parenthetical citation is created when the author's name is not in the text of the sentence. In this case, you need to enclose the author's name and the page number in a parenthesis. Okay, so if the name of the author is not found in the text, that means you need to include his or her name or surname and the page number and place that inside a parenthesis. And let's have an example. Okay, so here is an example. When it comes to technology, then there's a quote, need to be comfortable enough with technology tools and services that we can help point our patrons in the right direction, even if we aren't intimately familiar with how the device works, and end of quote, according to King, page 11. So as we can see in the given statements or statement, the author is not mentioned in the statement. That means we need to include the surname of the author and the page number at the end of the citation. Okay, and this is an example of parenthetical citation. Now, since there is a parenthetical citation in APA, we have this called narrative citation, but in MLA, there is the so-called prose citation. Okay, so when we talk about prose citation under Modern Language Association, that means MLA prose citation is used when the author's name is based in the text of the sentence. Then the page number should be included at the end of the text in the sentence, and it is placed inside the parenthesis. Okay, so in prose citation, the name is included in the statement, or the name is included in the text in the sentence, and the page number is located at the end of the statement. And let's see an example. When it comes to technology, King states that we need to be comfortable enough with technology tools and services that we can help point our patrons in the right direction, even if we aren't intimately familiar with how the device works. End of quote, page 11. So this is a common example of Modern Language Association prose citation. And that's all for this discussion. I hope you learned something from Teacher Hernan. Thank you and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.